Um, if you look at the situation, Joe Budden had, let me write my name on here, and it won't write. Why I can't write on this card? Okay, trying to send Christmas cards. Are you talking about two different things right now? Yeah, I was trying to write on this Christmas card, and the pen wouldn't work no matter what pen. I'm like, why would you make paper where it just no ink will ever write on this paper for the Christmas card? So, but no, like I was saying, with Joe Budden, the whole thing was the contract is up, and well, his contract is up, and I don't know for what reason. I guess Joe contract was shorter than Academics because it was Joe's show. That's the only thing I could assume. And Nadeska, she's with Complex, like she's part of their company, and then they selected another girl to do it. Yeah, she's always worked at Complex, right? I guess so. But they selected another girl to do the show. Joe Budden said, "Nah, I want Nadeska." He felt working with her would be a lot better. So when they got Nadeska on the show, he the one chose Academics. They interviewed some people to see what chemistry would work out, but they really wanted DJ Academics on the show. And the fact that he was interested in doing it, plus, he had his internet following, and while him coming on there, Joe can just talk to him any old kind of way, and his passive aggressive attitude. There you have it. There's your show. So when they did the show, everybody's kind of wondering, like, why is he doing this show? Like, what would be like, why is this guy doing this show? It just don't make any sense. Academics. It was like, what is he doing the show for? And I was like, oh, okay, he wants to be legitimized. So, because even though he's just an internet guy, nobody in the industry ever was going to respect him as anybody or somebody on the show. Now, the disconnect happened all throughout the season. Like he's always been warm with Complex, and Joe talks about it on many different episodes where he would just bring up situations with the studio. Like he brought up a situation one time that they brought out like gear from sponsors that they wanted them to wear, and Joe didn't want to wear it. So they was like, all right, well, forget it. You ain't got to be here then when we do it. You ain't gonna mess up our money. Then they messed up a Spotify deal with Remy. Remy was gonna come on the show, and they had Spotify do something, and Joe was like, okay, well, I'm quite sure Spotify paid the money. What about me and DJ Academic? We don't get a piece of that money. And they were like, no, you don't. And he was like, well, fine, I ain't doing it. And they was like, fine, forget it. Joe is out. We'll do the show without Joe. And I guess Remy and Spotify was like, wait a minute. Joe ain't gonna be on the show, and y'all just gonna we ain't doing that. Because they didn't know what type of show they were gonna get. It's just gonna be DJ Academic and Remy. You don't want to chance that. But Joe's like, yeah, that's right. I gotta be on the show. Like I hold some weight. But there are a couple of times on the show, I didn't know if I'm not Academics, Joe Budden was playing around or not. Because if you ever watch it, every now and then, like once every 3 to 4 weeks, Joe Budden he would act like he's just like, yeah, man, that complex, even cut this check, we ain't get paid yet. When y'all gonna pay us? I was like, is he joking or? He's gonna piss the complex, don't keep saying that. Oh yeah, I mean that's the thing about Joe. Joe is self-destructive like that. And the whole situation got out of him because the corporations, that's their job. Their job is to try to get the maximum out of you as much as possible and pay less. They know DJ Academic is going to be, thank you guys. I'm happy to be here. No problems out of him. He going to toe the line. He going to do what he going to do because DJ Academic don't care about getting these extra little money here. And he got all the internet money coming in. So if he got all his internet money coming, his concern
is not with the YouTube too much no more. But he got scared into doing it because YouTube had that shutdown period where the money was all messed up and he was nervous. So when this opportunity came around, he jumped at it. So I'm not mad at him for that at all. I don't, don't do your thing. But Sean, this is where it got crazy. After this, they had another deal come back with another person on the show, and they were belligerent them, and it ticked off Verizon because Verizon had a sponsorship with one of these artists they had on there, and Verizon was upset that Complex had this show where they would just go off and say anything, and nobody is saying anything about it. So they didn't like that Ashanti was attacked on the show. And so Ashanti ended up coming on the show and scolding them on the show. So that was cool. They worked that out. They did a couple of other ones like this too, but the Jeezy situation was another. And people was not liking the way the show was going in that direction. Complex is like, this is causing a lot of waves. But they like it because there's a lot of episodes when Joe wasn't there. And then they would do interviews. And it'd be Academic or whoever the musical guest that was on the show, and then they're doing the interviews. So it was a lot of those shows where Joe wasn't there that day, or Joe was off because he didn't want to do the interviews because he didn't want to do it. So anyway, it's Joe contract was up. Like he had I guess a 6-month contract or whatever, or I don't know how long Joe contract was gonna run out. So they wanted to work with Joe first because he's the most difficult person in the world. So they said, well, let's try to get Joe locked in first, and they could not agree on a number. And Joe is like, look, I'm not stupid. I know if the show is doing well, that the company gets a bump. Nadeska's getting all this money, but what about me and DJ Academic? We ain't getting none of it. And I'm like, well, you get what's in your contract. Why the company don't feel like? I mean, he's thinking like this is a business. If it's not documented saying I gotta pay you, why am I just gonna give you some extra money that I don't have to give you? So Joe feel like, well, you ain't gonna give me no extra money. I ain't gonna do nothing extra. Don't give me no sponsor stuff. Don't give me nothing to do. I don't want to hear about it unless y'all gonna cut us a check. So they offered them like a little bit of money. Joe wanted more. For the sponsors, they was like, forget it. He's just difficult. So when it came to renegotiate, they offered him a deal. Joe didn't want it. They went up a little bit, and he was like, nah, I want this much. They were like, look, I'm done. This is the final offer. And they were at the final offer for about a month to see if Joe was going to accept it. They were not going back and forth with Joe no more. So when Joe left, they was keeping the door open, like trying to do some negotiation. So Complex is the one that put out that Joe was on paternity leave. They were like, no, he's just at home. He just had a kid. And so Joe the one went out there and said, no, don't blame my kid. My 3-day-old son. Don't blame him for what's going on over there. That he got nothing to do with it. I'm not on paternity leave. It's a contract renegotiation, so I'm waiting on them to see what they gonna do. Is they gonna bring me back, or is we gonna do this or not? So he got an email, or either what does it say? Joe had went and did the podcast on the Joe Budden podcast show, and he told everybody what happened. He got an email saying that Joe, if you want to come in on Monday, that's great. But you will have to agree to this amount of money, or this is our final offer and this and that. Like, oh well. So he was like, oh, that I guess that means I'm not coming back because the letter was really disrespectful. I don't remember it verbatim, but it was on the this is our take it or leave it. If not, thank you for all you've done for everyday struggle. But if you want to come in Monday, that's cool.
And what did I miss last week? I saw all over the internet, everybody kept posting Charlamagne the God, this and Akademiks and Joe Budden or something. They said,
Nah. Charlamagne he's the snake in the whole situation, really. Cause see, I told people from the beginning, they don't listen to me. When Charlamagne, his whole thing was to break that up anyway. It was like, he wanted to keep Joe Budden with him because he knew he dropped the ball on something. He was, man, I'm an idiot. I could have got him or DJ Academic because DJ Academic is he's so new to the game. You know, he's like, hey, how you doing? I'm glad to be here. They was like, oh, this sucker, I can get him to do anything. He's too stupid. So they're bringing him right in and manipulating him off his fanboyism. So he's completely being manipulated into thinking Charlamagne's got his best interest. I'm like, Charlamagne would have put you on the Breakfast Club if that was the case. He put you on his podcast. That's how much he thinks of you. So I don't know. Do you know who Deezus and Mero is? Have you seen Deezus and Mero? Have you seen their show?
no.
Okay, those are the guys. They come on Vice TV. They used to be on MTV2, and they used to be on Complex first. So they did a thing talking about DJ Academic in the past, but I'm gonna stay here with so you get caught up with Charlamagne first. Now Charlamagne, in this situation before, he was saying Joe was gonna leave. He was trying to put that in there because he knew Joe was unhappy because they was talking about these situations before months ago, and that's why he was like, Joe gonna leave. Joe ain't happy over there. You know Joe be tripping. But at the same time, he's texting DJ Academic like, man, you know that dude, man, you know Joe be wilding. Joe be wilding. You sure you want to stay? Because he want to break that up because that show is getting popular and people are talking about that, and he ain't getting no money off of it. If Charlamagne was to break this up, take one of the components, if not both, and promote the show and package it up and put it together where he getting a check off of it, then you got something special. A show with DJ Academic, Charlamagne, and Joe Budden. Now that he done seen it work, he got to break that up at Complex and get that on over to where he at. So that's where he thinking, well, how can he get a check off this? Because he's like, I ain't getting a dime off what they doing on Complex, and that's dumb because I know both of them. How am I not eating off this? So this whole deceptional thing he's been doing is just that, playing the both sides of the fence.
Oh, wow.
So he came out and he was defending Joe and did a video with Joe, like they were pitching their own show for him and Joe Budden. Like, we gonna pitch our own show for Revolt. But they don't have a deal with Revolt yet. They're pitching it so it can go out so that hopefully Revolt will jump on it while they trying to shop it around and see who wants to pick up the idea and pay what they want to pay. So that's what that whole thing is about. They haven't really signed yet. That's why they didn't mind me putting up that video. So anyway,
Right.
now we're gonna switch over. Now here it is. Deezus and Mero. They have a show where they just roast people. It's like a comedy show. It comes on TV. Oh, like I told you, on Vice TV. And before, it was really wild. On MTV2, they were wilding. They just roast people. They from Brooklyn. I mean, the Bronx. And these dudes, man, they get on this show and they just roast. And I think, didn't you send me? I thought you saw the one when they were talking about DJ Academic. They was getting at him. But before, they did something with my man's from Chicago, the one that went on there and was talking about slapping DJ Academic right on the show.
About doing what to DJ Academic?
Yeah, the dude from Chicago, the one that was talking about slapping him up when he was sitting there in front of him.
Oh, Vic Mensa?
Yeah, so Vic was doing their show. And he was talking about slapping DJ Academic, and they put all the artwork into it, and he was like, man, even though Vic doing the dissing, it looked like it was a personal attack. So he was like, I ain't really say nothing. Then they clowned him again being on the internet. They was like, oh, a DJ Academic and this and that. They was talking about him on the internet and how, you know, about the whole situation with the breakup and all this stuff. So they was clowning him on the internet. He got mad and did a whole live chat, and he's crying basically on that. And he actually brought their name up in the on the Twitch. Man, this dude, man, he did this, man. He did that, man. You know what? I ain't scared, man. I ain't nobody. What you talking about? I'm gonna still be here. I don't care who did what, man. It's like he's crying. So Charlemagne comes out and make a video talking about, man, I just text my little guy, Academics, man. You cannot be getting sensitive and crying when somebody else come after you on a video. You can't be sensitive and crying like that when you do the same thing. You can't do that when you in this media industry like that. You can't be crying out there like that. So everybody's like, man, he was on the live stream. Academics was like, man, I was just talking to Charlemagne, and we was just talking about stuff like this. And now look, and then I'm like, you over there doing that, and Charlemagne came right out and dissed you. And I told him why. Because these are the guys Charlemagne know. He respect them. They've been on the Breakfast Club. They've been on Hot 97. They had a show right next to his on MTV too. He was on their show. And I'm like, have you noticed Charlemagne's show got canceled? Ain't nobody talked about that. And they was like, yeah, what happened to this show? Yeah, that Uncommon Sense. So when that happened, that's where Charlemagne dropped that video talking about Academics. And everybody's like, man, why are you doing that? Because I'm like, they're respected in the industry. Academics is not. So who you think he gonna side with? He gonna side with those who got more power than you. So they made a video too, going after Academics. Oh my goodness, Sean. It was the most brutalist video I've seen of anybody. You talking about an internet ethering. They jumped all down his throat. They were Sean, it is the funniest video I've seen probably this year. They was like, yeah, you in your mama's basement. She yelling down there, boy, keep all that noise down. You spinning around in your game chair. And then you talk about we're broke. He's like, hello. He's like, we left Complex 4 years ago. We left Complex for the money that you're just now getting now. We left for that offer. He's like, when they tried to offer us, we done MTV too. We're on television. We're not on the internet. This is a real studio. That's a real production. This is he's like, no, this is a show. So you broke. I'm like, oh my God. They were going in on him. They went in on him completely and called him by his real name, Livingston. He was like, Livingston, come up here and get something to eat. He's like, no, dude, that dude's not even Jamaican, man. He's probably from St. Lucia somewhere. Man, I was cracking up, Sean. It's probably the funniest ethering of a person I have heard ever in a long time. I mean, they really gave it to him. Because they were like, oh, no, he decided to snap back. No, stay down, Rocky. Stay down. No, don't do it. Don't do it. Now he's apologizing. He's got a video now where he's apologizing to them. Man, people was telling me that, no, he realized he was messing with some people who had a real serious fan base. That's why he said their name, because he know how big they are. He wanted to say their name so he can get some extra pub off of it. But he didn't get what he thought he was going to get. Now he was getting clowned. Now it's like, oh, I'm getting clowned now. Everybody say I'm taking an L. Yeah, because you on TV crying. I mean, you on the internet crying. And everybody like, man, he's like, no, I wasn't crying, dude. You were crying. your voice is breaking up, child. He was crying.
Oh, wow.
He was straight crying. It was so brutal, Sean.
Yeah.
I laughed.
Tim, I'm surprised they ain't gonna try to get I'm gonna tell you somebody who loves doing interviews. George Amora.
I already said that, and then like every video I do, I said he should be the guy to do it more than anything.
He loves coming on Bad TV. He's on Bad TV like every week.
That's the guy who should do it.
You think they'll give it to him?
I don't know. It depends on how's it all like flowing together. They can get him, or they can get my man Pete Rock. They can get him on there. They can get a lot of people. They can actually put Vlad on there.
No, Vlad wouldn't do it. Vlad's making way more money on his platform.
Yeah. I mean, when you could pay dudes $5,000, when you could pay people $5,000 for a video, shoot, just for one video, you could pay them 5 stacks. Well, they pay them 5 stacks. Yeah, I mean, the one person I know got 5 stacks for one interview. He don't pay them for a video. He pay them per interview. Then he'll splice the video up into like 4 videos and start putting them out.
Right.
And
I think he was paying that much. I thought he was something about 1,000.
No, he paying like 5,000. He make him over $1 million doing this stuff. So those 4. Think about it. If he cut the video up into like 4 interviews, I've seen him do it even 5 to 6 out of one interview. Chop it up and put it out there. He'll make that 5,000 back easy. He gonna make 2,500 off of one. That's easy. And then you think about it, you ain't got to pay that to everybody. That's why you don't see too many big names with him. You see the C-level celebrities on his show.
Right.
They ain't even at the B level. You see the C level on Vlad. But I'll rock with that.
Because I be hearing different people be saying that Vlad is this, Vlad be.
That's just people. Vlad problem is he's not hip hop. Like he's somebody that just interview. He know a little bit. He know the people. He don't really know any history. He's like he don't even listen to the interviewers while they talking. He's just like, dog, you would have learned that if you just listened to your own interview. Sometimes he say some of the dumbest things to form.
Dollar sign is cap off. Yeah, because Vlad will be on there and Vlad be saying, so you got shot. Where exactly did you get shot at? Who shot you?
Right. I mean, yeah, he just.
What kind of question you asking, Vlad?
Right. He don't understand because Vlad is not street.
Yeah. Like when you pulled out your gun, were you scared? Like, Vlad.
So when you shot him on 35th Street on that Thursday night at 2:47 p.m., what was you thinking? Did it ever cross your mind you might go to jail? You're like, I might go tonight because of you. Vlad gonna be on first 48. Like, we got 48 hours to crack this case. I'm like, Vlad gonna wrap this up on one video.
Yeah.
They were like, we don't need that. We got 5 minutes. Vlad gonna wrap this case right up. We're interviewing him. They was like, we trying to bring him into the station. We ain't got to bring him into the station now. We got it right here on Vlad.